What? Ain't got no holes in me. I be quick to run up, let it pop. That's just the old in me. Rest in peace to Silk from 8 apart. That was the old in me. Goofy got shot right up in his top. His brother told on me. Couldn't get a bond. I set it out. They put that hold on me.
What is good, Gears fam? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're about to dive right into the world of Gears 5 movement. Whether you're a seasoned player looking to finesse your skills, or you're a newbie and you're hungry to dominate the battlefield, you've come to the right spot. In this amazing guide, we're going to cover all the details about movement mechanics in Gears 5. From basic to more advanced moves, you got the wall bouncing, you got the strafe, and you got everything, and it will all be broken down step by step. So if you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and hit that bell to join Roadie Gang, because I will have you all looking like this.
10 kills.
This will be the only Gears 5 movement guide you will need in order to be successful in this game. So first, I want to explain to you guys that a lot of changes can happen very quickly for you if you hold the controller in a different way. What I mean by this is many players either use paddles that have extra buttons on the back, or they play claw. And the reward for playing on these different types of ways is you're able to press the buttons and move your camera at the same time and have full control of both simultaneously. That's a huge buff in Gears of War, just simply because wall bouncing is a very demanding maneuver, and being able to control both at once will make your life much easier. If not, it's not a fully needed thing, because you can still play the default way. There's still a few pro players that are actually able to play in the default way. I used to play in the default way as well, so you will still be able to take away every single thing in this video and be perfectly fine. But I would say that it would actually be easier if you did make the switch. Yes, at the beginning your hands might be different. You know, it might, like, you're gonna feel your hands stretching a little bit, but I promise you, you're going to be okay. All right, everybody that's played claw has been through it, and it is so rewarding, not only for Gears of War, but literally playing all shooters, all games, just because you have that maximum control of pressing your buttons and controlling your camera at the same time. So after you have figured out how you want to hold the controller, whether you want to play paddles, you want to play claw, or you want to just be default, which is perfectly fine as well, you want to look at your settings. All right, the control schemes in this game change how the movement feels a lot, and actually it also changes how it will look. All right, so the biggest one that most people play on is default. All right, default is the classic control scheme. Nothing is really bad about it. It is just simply normal. It is what most players play on. But I will say that if you play on default, you might as well play on the version of default that I play called DEFAULTERNATE, which is its classic alt, but it is remapped into the default control scheme. This control scheme feels way less input laggy, all right? Especially if you're on the console, you'll feel like your input delay goes away a bit. You'll also feel like you're able to grab walls from a longer distance. But a con against this control scheme is that when you're near walls, it's going to feel like it's harder to roadie run, simply because your slide in initiating into any cover, it goes into being on the press of the button downwards instead of being on when you release the button. And that is the difference of playing on default and DEFAULTERNATE. Other than that, you have classic alt's movement style, but you're playing with the default settings, so it is exactly the same. Everything else is the same outside of it. Default, on the other hand, is actually just a regular thing that everybody plays on. What I like to say about default is that cancel bouncing is a lot easier. I will show you guys what that is. If you guys don't know what that is, then you will learn how to do it later in this video, which is perfectly fine. And you are actually able to really run your covers, because that is what the game intends for you to do, because your slide is initiated on release instead of the press of the button. Okay, so next, I would say the best control scheme to minimize the amount of errors you can have is going to be classic alt. Most professional players play on this. Most of your movement veterans play on classic alt, because simply your roll is binded to a different button than your wall bounce. Now, I will say this, at the beginning of playing classic alt, it's going to feel like a lot of freedom is taken from you about how fast you can wall bounce and how easy it is to take those covers. And you will find yourself often standing still because classic alt has a way more defined time on wall bounce timing. So you have to perfectly time each bounce and take your time with every single thing, and over time gradually build your speed up. I play on classic all, I also play on default, and I will show you the difference about what I mean by freedom by doing the same inputs on both and just having to get better with it over time. So last is tournament. I think this is good for players that do not want to switch to claw or want to play paddles at all. They want that instant improvement of being able to control your camera and press your movement buttons at the same time, because what this does is it binds your slide into LB, so you're able to control your camera and slide around at the same time. A lot of people find it's beneficial, but me personally, I can't really say too much about tournament because I actually don't know. But I would say that if you are going to play tournament, you should do the classic alt remapped into tournament, which I will put in the comments below if you are looking for that, so stay on the lookout. And yeah, so now we get to the moves. All right, the plan for this video was to start off from basic to more advanced. So this is as basic as it gets, and which is sort of an advanced maneuver at the same time, because for some reason Gears does not tell players how to do this. So it is very simple. You guys have seen it being used many times, and I know a lot of new players do not know how to do this move. So it is the Mantle Hop, the quick Mantle Hop. All right, there are two different ways to do this move. The first way is to do it while sliding into cover. So what you do is you initiate your slide into cover, and you press B while you are sliding. You have to do it while you're sliding and not before you hit the wall, or you will not get the quick Mantle Hop. All right, the other way to do it is immediately after you're running. If you can press B while you're running, then it will hit every single time. Other than that, you have to time it literally perfectly right before you fully release your Roadie run button. So it's like the millisecond you release it, you press B, and then you'll just get the Mantle Hop. All right. Well, now I will say this: mantle kicking is a thing of the past. In Gears 3, mantle kicking was very good, but in this game, it's very easily countered, as you can see. Like, yeah, you might get it off 1 in a dozen times, and you know you get the nice little knife kill or shotgun kill, whatever you choose. But I will say that mantle kicking people isn't really that good. You mainly want to use this move either aggressively, if you want to hop up in on the district in that building called Juice, or if you're trying to get away from a fight, you know, something like that, then it's understandable. Other than that, you don't want to really animation lock yourself too much, so be wise when you're using this move. This next one starts off as basic and becomes more advanced as you get better, and it is a must-know skill. All right, this skill is called strafing. Strafing is used in many shooters, and it will actually not only make you better at Gears of War if you learn it here, but it will make you better at games like Call of Duty, you know, games like Apex that you have to strafe a lot to force your opponents to miss shots at close range, medium range, and it just will work for you all around in this game. I actually would say I get about 50% of my kills from strafing only with a shotgun, and it works so well in this game that people know me for having a special type of wiggle. All right, that's what they call it. They say the Avexys wiggle or whatever. All right, and what you want to do here is to learn how to strafe is simply start off by just going left and right. You don't want to go left and right too quick, and this is all in your left stick, by the way. This first part is all in your left stick. You don't go left and right too quick because you're going to be staying in the same place. You want to go left and right the same speed as I am. If you have to slow the video down to really replicate the video, or really replicate what I'm doing, make sure you do that so you can have a firm and good understanding of what I'm doing. Some tips for strafing very quickly are that it's considered a wall bounce counter, so make sure you're walking along walls and taking angles away from wall bouncing players. All right, what this means is if you're in a stairwell, you want to take literally one side of the stairwell away from it and angle your camera towards diagonally across the stairwell and let him walk into you, or let him wall bounce into you. This makes it so much easier to get kills, and you want to always do this because it's going to be very consistent for you. All right, Also, remember that your bullets come out of your barrel and is not centered your screen, so you have to constantly line up your shotgun, and you don't have to move your right stick too much when you're strafing. You're mainly lining up your body, all right? You are sort of what I would like to say, aiming with your left stick, okay? And also the last thing I would say that I do personally is double move on one side, okay? As you can see in this video right here, I'm also doing a left right, and I'm doing left left, then I'll do right left, right right, all right? What this does is it keeps it unpredictable, and a lot of people will try to line up with their strafe, and you will end up strafing out of their screen and making them miss an easy shot, all right? Last, always hold your shot. Holding your shot is amazing when you're strafing, and which basically means have some type of trigger discipline, all right? Make sure that you know you're about to hit the next shot you're about to shoot, and you're not just spamming your shotgun, praying that you're gonna hit the next shot. Next, there is a move called the Drunken Strafe, but I will keep this one short. It is basically doing your left stick, but paired with a lot of right stick, all right? And this actually makes you look very, very wild, and looks like you're shaking your screen on your end, and this does take a lot more accuracy. So watch yourself if you're doing this. I've actually done this a lot. You guys probably seen me do this a lot, and it really tears people apart, okay? So that's just real quick. And then after that, we have Roadie strafing. Now, Roadie strafing can be a more advanced technique because it takes a little bit more timing, and this is basically just starting a Roadie run and looking at a direction and letting it go, all right? You can see my exact input by looking at the controller cam here. So if you want to learn how to do this, make sure you keep slowing the video down and understanding the movement and the input I'm doing in order to execute this move. So the inputs I'm actually making is I am holding A to initiate the Roadie run, and immediately once I start holding A, I move my left stick over a little bit just to start the Roadie run in a different direction than I'm facing. And after I move over a tiny bit, I let go of the A button and I let go of the left stick a lot, and I move my right stick back to center my screen towards the direction I was facing or where my opponent was at first. So if you do, once again, need to slow it down, put it to 0.5, put it to 0.25, whatever you need to do, and you will see the inputs being cleanly put in. This is by far one of my favorite moves to use. I also pair this with wall bouncing a lot, and it leads me to getting some beautiful multi-kills, alright? It closes distance the quickest out of everything, and it also forces people to waste their shot because you're closing distance on them, so they miss a lot as well. You can see me use it in these few clips here and even in 1v1s, and it absolutely just breaks down teams and opponents when they are solo. So now from here we get into wall bouncing. This is a huge part of Gears of War now, especially since we're in Gears 5, and the slide cancel has been introduced since Gears of War 2. Alright, now there are 3 different types of bouncing in this game, and they are called the angle bounce, the camera bounce, and the cancel bounce. Alright, now I will explain each of these to you, and you can understand them very, very quickly. So make sure you pay close attention and watch this to the end. Now, a simplified version of wall bouncing is simply just pushing your left stick in a diagonal direction towards the wall you want to go to and pressing A. Alright, that just initiates a wall slide, and all wall bouncing is doing is you start a wall slide, and before you actually commit to the cover, you look at another wall with your left stick and you press A again, okay? That is performing an angle bounce, and that actually takes no right stick movement at all. And that is what you've been watching me doing in this past little 30-second clip just now. And the camera bounce is a little bit different. With that, you are actually turning your screen and you're looking at each wall you are trying to hit. The difference between them is the camera bounce is better when you're using in a crowded situation, because people will take up your walls and you will end up misrolling, or you will end up standing still if you're on classic alt, and you do not want that. But it is very good in those spacious moments where you can have full screen control and just focus on lining up your shot perfectly. Camera bouncing and angle bouncing should be used in different scenarios like I mentioned, so make sure you take note and try to put that into action on your own. Now, cancel bouncing is exactly as it sounds, and you are actually canceling the wall bounce, alright? So you go towards the cover, you initiate the slide, and then you literally pull back the opposite direction with your left stick. All right, so if you're pushing up diagonal right, you're gonna pull back diagonal left. Okay, so it makes it very simple, and these are best used when you're only using like 1, 2, or 3 of these at a time. You don't want to really overdo your cancel bounces because then it kind of defeats the purpose. All right, these are quick little twitches that your character will do to make people miss small shots, and you can see me do it in these clips here. And I also get a lot of multi-kills by doing this, and I combine this with my strafing a lot too, and it makes your character movement just absolutely nasty. You should never really have to wall bounce and spam like 100 bounces together. You should be able to do a nice succession of strafing, roadie strafing, and doing some quick little short cancel bounces, and you will become an absolute demon of a player. All right, and that is your goal. So I hope you guys keep on working on that. If you guys want some more in-depth tutorials, make sure you guys comment, subscribe for your boy. Watch back any part of this video as many times as you guys need to. Slow it down to learn all the inputs I'm doing. That is why I have the controller camera on the video, and that should really walk you through the movements I am doing. I hope you guys have had a great day. I will see you guys in the next one. I love you guys. Make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe once again for your boy. And I will see you guys later. Also, look out for my Gnasher tutorial. That is where I will show you all the different skill shots. You want to learn the up A, the back A, defensive back A, defensive up A, Kermit shot, all that, reaction shot, all that. Make sure you on the lookout for that video and you hit that bell so you can see once I drop that video. And that is basically it, guys. So peace out. I love you all.